Well, it is incredibly close. You're absolutely right. This is amazing to see because, as everyone keeps mentioning, we haven't seen it since 1976 when Jimmy Carter won it. The fact that it's very close is fascinating, but under our electoral college system, the only thing that matters is which candidate gets one more vote than the other. And then they inherit all 38 of those critical electoral votes. If somehow Biden won Texas, that probably would be the clue we're waiting for to indicate that Biden would be elected president. But if Donald Trump gets it, Biden is under pressure to win some big states. That is Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Ohio. You know, we're waiting. There hasn't been one yet.
We've gotten a little bit of separation in Texas, Larry, since last we looked. About 75,000 votes separating the two candidates. All the counties are beginning to populate. When you look at this, does any of this strike you as surprising?
Well, this is pretty much what we were expecting based on all the pre-election polls and some of the discussion in Texas about these two candidates. Again, Trump is ahead. We expected him in my shop to win. I thought he would win by a bit more than this, but then we don't have the final results yet. I think Biden needs a little miracle. Doesn't need a big miracle. He doesn't need a pocket full of miracles, but he needs a miracle, a small one.
Let's turn to Ohio now, another one that both candidates have been focusing on. We weren't really sure exactly how this was going to go. It's razor thin in the state of Ohio with 64% of the vote in.
Here's another classic example of the fact that we don't know where the votes really are coming from and what's left. And are they election day votes or are they preliminary mail-in votes? It matters because, as we all know, Trump voters tend to vote on election day and Biden voters tended to vote in advance. I've got to say, nobody really expected Ohio to go to Biden. When we put people off the record in both parties, they almost unanimously said Trump will win Ohio. He won it in a landslide 4 years ago. It'll be closer, but he'll still win by a point or two. Maybe it'll turn out that way, but it's much closer than people did expect.
North Carolina is another one that he got last time and he needs this time. Vice President Biden with not much of a lead, still too early to call by NBC News standards. 80% of the vote in there, Larry.
Yeah, the Biden people were pretty optimistic about North Carolina. They felt pretty confident about it. I don't know how they're feeling right now. I'm sure they're thrilled that Biden is ahead by any margin, but North Carolina is a tough state for a Democrat. When Barack Obama won it in 2008, he won it by a tiny sliver, a few thousand votes. And that's it. That's the only time in modern history that a Democrat has carried it, or in recent elections. So again, I'd say a small miracle. You know, this is starting to add up to that pocket full of miracles that I mentioned. But
I didn't mean
for Biden, for Democrats.
For Democrats, you need big numbers in Charlotte and Mecklenburg County, and you need enormous numbers in the Research Triangle, or you really don't have a chance. At least so far,
Yes.
that's come through.
Yes, that's come through. The smaller rural counties, as expected, going heavily for Donald Trump, unless it's a majority county. But as I say, it's you come down to those final votes, and often they trickle in from rural areas. I've seen that over the years. I grew up on the border between Virginia and North Carolina.